Have you ever stopped to think that your body may be screaming truths that no one has ever told you? That those spots on the skin, that strange cold on the back of the neck, or even a pain that keeps coming back. Aren't these just coincidences? What if I told you that all of this could be proof that you carry a powerful spiritual origin, and that no one taught you how to decipher? Yes, it is possible that you are an old soul, a being with spiritual marks that carry secrets from past lives. And most people will never realize that. The truth? Most are so distracted by routine that they don't even imagine that the physical body is a map, a portal that reveals signs of the universe, clues about their spiritual lineage, and, most importantly, about their soul purpose. And we're not talking about something too mystical to understand. Quite the opposite. They are signs that appear in the mirror, in dreams, in scars that appear out of nowhere. And ignoring these spiritual symptoms can keep you stuck in a life that isn't your own. The craziest? Many people spend their whole lives trying to find themselves, when in fact they are already carrying in their own bodies the codes of the mission they came to fulfill. Birthmarks, eyes that change color, strange sensations in specific parts of the body. All of this is the secret language of your spiritual body. And the sooner you learn to decipher these signs, the faster you will align yourself with who you really are. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 spiritual signs hidden in your body that no one has ever explained to you. Some of them will give you goosebumps. Others will make you review your entire history. And if you've ever felt like you don't belong in this world, maybe now you'll find out why. Ready to discover the shocking truth about your mystical origins? There are those who say that a simple birthmark is just a detail of genetics. But what if I told you that many of these marks are actually spiritual scars loaded with history? Not invented history, but history of the soul. Spiritual marks that appear in peculiar places, such as on the chest, between the eyebrows, or on the back of the neck, are often interpreted as signs of past lives, fragments of a spiritual origin that still pulsates silently within the spiritual body. It's as if the universe left a reminder, you've been here before. In certain traditions, these marks are seen as mystical symbols on the body, small energetic portals that signal the soul's purpose. There are records of people with birthmarks in the shape of a star, cross, or even spiral. In many ancient cultures, these spiritual signs on the body were treated with reverence. For example, among Tibetans, circular markings on the back are associated with reincarnated monks. That is, it may be that unimportant stain is actually a sign that you carry the memory of an ancestral spiritual lineage. Imagine that the soul is a millennial traveler, and the physical body is just the vehicle of the time. On each new journey, this soul can leave a sign. Have you ever heard of the spiritual birthmark that appears in children who later relate memories of other lives? There are documented cases, including in serious research, such as that of Dr. Ian Stevenson. If you want to investigate further, a great starting point is the book 20 Cases Suggestive of Reincarnation. He shows how certain marks coincide with fatal injuries from previous lives. There are also those who feel something strange when they touch or look at their own brand. A feeling of discomfort or, curiously, of deep peace. This emotional response may be a clue that there lies something far beyond biology, perhaps a door to spiritual awakening. If this has touched you in any way, try a simple exercise: sit quietly, take a deep breath, and bring your attention to that mark. Ask yourself, what do you want to show me? Many answers come like this, softly. And the most curious? These marks are often accompanied by other spiritual symptoms, such as an unusual sensitivity to the environment, repetitive dreams, or an inexplicable attraction to ancient cultures. Sometimes, these signs of past lives appear in sequence, like a puzzle being assembled little by little. And then you start to notice that the eyes of certain people, well, they hold a different light. A subtle clue, perhaps, of what is to come. The eyes are, indeed, mirrors of the soul, and sometimes, mirrors of dimensions that go far beyond the visible. When a person is born with eyes of an unusual color, such as an amber hue that appears to glow in the dark, or when they have iris with unusual shapes, spots, streaks, spiral patterns, they may be carrying traces of a rare spiritual lineage. In mystical traditions, these eyes are read as open windows to higher realities. The one who carries this sign is usually an old soul, often on a silent mission through this plane. It's not just about aesthetics. Eyes with extremely light pupils or those that seem to change color according to mood reveal more than you might think. Some say that they are the eyes of those who have lived many lives, and that they accumulate signs of the universe as if they were living libraries. Have you ever heard of the phenomenon called spiritual heterochromia? In certain cultures, this is seen as a spiritual birthmark connected to gifts, such as clairvoyance, extreme empathy, or the ability to heal energy. Coincidence? Perhaps. Or not. People with these distinct visual traits often report a greater sensitivity to their surroundings. Not only physical, but spiritual. They easily pick up spiritual cues in the body, such as inexplicable goosebumps or a strong sense of déjà vu. There is a pattern. For example, eyes that reflect golden tones are often linked to ancestral wisdom. And, yes, there are ways to investigate this. You can study spiritual iridology or even look for iris maps in esoteric traditions. They reveal hidden codes of connection between spiritual body and destiny. Want a simple and eye-opening exercise? Look at yourself in the mirror for a few minutes, without rushing. Notice the details, the nuances of color, the shapes around the pupil. Breathe deeply. Ask, what are my eyes trying to show me? Many report having visions, memories, or even answers from spirit guides. It is as if the eyes were portals to the spiritual origin that insists on making itself noticed even if in silence. It's curious how, after you notice it in your own eyes, you start to notice it in others too. Suddenly, that friend with blue eyes and a somewhat out-of-time manner starts to look familiar. Is he also from an ancient spiritual lineage? Maybe someone who crossed your path in another life. And that's when the hands begin to tell a story that the mouth still doesn't dare to tell. There are those who say that destiny is written in the stars, but many wise people prefer to look at the hands. Yes, palms are living maps of the soul. And when a person has different lines, especially the famous M on the palm, there is a sign of something bigger. Spiritual palmistry teaches that these hands reveal more than personality, they reveal mission. A well-defined M, for example, usually indicates an old soul, with leadership gifts, keen sensitivity and, above all, a strong connection with the soul's purpose. Interestingly, people with these marks report that, from an early age, they feel different. As if they knew too much, even without understanding how. They are the classic bold children, who are born with attentive eyes and the deep silence of those who carry untold memories. These spiritual marks on the hands are not random. In many Indian and Egyptian traditions, they are seen as evidence of a spiritual lineage of healers, prophets, or guides. People who are here to serve, but also to awaken others. Want to check if you carry this signal? Extend your dominant hand and observe. Is there an M formed by the lines of the head, the heart, and the life? If so, you may be among those with spiritual gifts in latency. This explains why certain people experience spiritual symptoms when they touch others or when they enter charged environments. The spiritual body vibrates, manifests, responds. They are signs that you are special, and perhaps, a sleeping guardian of forgotten knowledge. Now, if in addition to the M, its lines seem tangled, long or form unusual designs, such as stars or tridents, the call can be even stronger. In ancient esoteric schools, these clapping indicated someone with access to more subtle signs of the universe. If this is your case, go deeper. A good start would be to study about esoteric chirology or participate in spiritual palm reading circles, which exist to this day in initiatory schools and holistic communities. And you know what's most interesting? Hands reveal patterns, but also changes. As consciousness evolves, so do the lines. For this reason, many people report that, after a spiritual awakening, they notice changes in their hands, stronger strokes, crosses that appear out of nowhere. Energy flows and shapes matter. And that's why, when certain regions of the body start to vibrate in a strange way, it is a sign that something even deeper is wanting to emerge. Have you ever felt a strange tingling on the top of your head for no reason at all? Or goosebumps that come out of nowhere, right in the middle of your chest or in the palms of your hands? These phenomena, although they seem random, are spiritual signs in the body that are extremely common in people in the process of spiritual awakening. In energy language, these regions correspond to centers of power, chakras, which, when activated, function as antennas connecting the spiritual body to higher planes. And no, this is not the stuff of a movie or an invention of the esoteric internet. It is the body speaking the language of the soul. The crown chakra, for example, is at the top of the head and is the main gateway for cosmic energy. When it starts vibrating, it's as if the soul says, "Hey, there's something big coming." On the other hand, the hands, when they get hot, tingle or even hurt, are often expressing the call of the inner healer. These spiritual marks in the form of sensations are common in those who have a mission to help others with energy, such as therapists, Reiki practitioners, or even intuitive massage therapists. And when is it in the chest? Oh. It's usually the heart chakra opening up, and that changes everything. If you feel this often, a good practice is to do the so-called conscious energy scanning. Lie down quietly, breathe deeply, and bring your attention to the sensitive spots. Ask, "What do you want to show me?" Often, images, memories, or a simple sense of peace come. These are signs of past lives connecting to the now, trying to deliver a message about your soul purpose. Do not ignore these spiritual symptoms, they are sacred invitations. And it is not only in silence that this happens. Many people report feeling these signs of the universe in crowds, during intense conversations or moments of contemplation of nature. The spiritual body does not obey the logic of the clock or the agenda. It pulses when it needs to. Therefore, carry an energy diary. Write down when and where you feel these sensations. Gradually, a pattern may emerge, revealing portals of connection, memories of spiritual origin, and activations that can no longer be ignored. And perhaps the most thought-provoking thing is to realize that the more you listen to these signals, the more they intensify. It is as if the universe is calibrating its attunement. And suddenly, a scar appears out of nowhere, with no wound, no explanation. And it is at this moment that the story takes an even more mysterious turn. Imagine waking up and noticing a new scar on some part of your body, without having hit, cut, or injured himself. Does it seem absurd? Well, know that this phenomenon is more common than it seems in people with spiritual sensitivity. According to some esoteric traditions, these spiritual marks can be reflections of energy battles, old contracts of the soul, or even consequences of spiritual healings that happened during sleep. And yes, there are reports of those who, after a night of intense dreaming or astral projection, wake up with small inexplicable marks on the spiritual body that are physically reflected. Many don't know, but certain scars that appear for no apparent reason carry signs of past lives. Have you ever heard of people who are born with a scar exactly where in another lifetime they were injured or died? These are considered delayed spiritual birthmarks, that is, they do not come with birth, but arise when the soul decides to access that fragment of memory. It's as if the body says, "Remember." It is possible to notice patterns, such as symmetrical scars, in places such as shoulders, back or abdomen, that activate dormant memories. Want to investigate a mysterious scar on your body? Write down where it came up, when it appeared, and if it was connected with any vivid dreams or moments of strong emotion. Then, meditate on this point. Ask your body, what story do you keep here? For the more curious, practices such as spiritual regression or past life therapy can bring shocking answers. A good book to delve into is The Immortal Soul, by Brian Weiss, where he shows how traumas and marks can cross incarnations. Interestingly, these scars tend to appear in people who have a more active spiritual origin, those who feel, sense, and live in constant search for meaning. They are silent but profound spiritual symptoms. In many shamanic cultures, these marks were seen as signs of initiation. The spiritual body absorbs the experiences of the soul, and when that soul is exposed to great cosmic conflicts, even if unconsciously, the scars manifest as emblems of this invisible journey. And how do you know if these marks are not just forgotten accidents? Well, when they start to repeat themselves, to emerge symmetrically or to accompany revealing dreams, you can no longer ignore them. And along with them, diseases arise in specific places in the body, always at the same points. Always with messages not spoken, but felt. Some pains insist on returning. Even after treatments, rest and care, there is that throat that swells whenever something is not said, or the knees that hurt when the person feels insecure about moving forward. Coincidence? Not exactly. According to various spiritual traditions, these repetitions can be deep energetic blockages, spiritual symptoms of karmic memories being purged. The spiritual body, in this case, is asking, break free. Each region of the body corresponds to an area of the soul. And when something is not resolved, the body charges. People with a more sensitive spiritual background tend to present this type of pattern more intensely. The spine, for example, tends to accumulate the pains of those who carry burdens that are not even theirs, inherited traumas, missions that weigh them down, unconscious loyalties to ancient spiritual lineages. Recurring sore throat, on the other hand, may indicate that soul could not express itself freely in past lives, a pattern that repeats itself until it is healed. Spirituality and the body go hand in hand, even if science does not yet fully understand this connection. If you feel like certain illnesses keep reappearing, try making an emotional journal. Write down what you felt, thought, or experienced in the days leading up to the physical crisis. Often, you will realize that there is an emotional or spiritual pattern behind it. A good book to help you with this is The Body Speaks, by Pierre Weil. Although it is not esoteric, it helps to connect mind, emotion, and physical. For those looking for something deeper, it is worth studying energy medicine or the principles of the metaphysics of health. Another powerful point is to observe when these diseases arise. Do they appear after an encounter with someone specific? After denying something important to yourself? After intense dreams or strange feelings of disconnection? If so, your body may be receiving signals from the universe to adjust course. Symptoms are not punishments, they are messages. And the older the souls, the more complex this system of communication becomes. And when everything seems to stabilize, you notice a strange sign on your skin, like a symbol, a figure, or a drawing that comes out of nowhere. A cross, a star, or a moon marked on the skin. Coincidence? Or maybe, a mystical signature of your spiritual lineage. Have you ever noticed a curious drawing on your skin? A cross-shaped spot, a faint star, maybe even a half-moon. These signs, as subtle as they may seem, can be much more than simple coincidences. In many spiritual cultures, such marks are interpreted as mystical symbols on the body, true energetic stamps left by cosmic, angelic, or ancestral lineages. It's as if the universe said, "You have a role to play." These spiritual signs in the body appear in strategic locations and carry deep meanings. For example, a star on the wrist may indicate an ancient soul with healing gifts, while a cross on the back of the neck may be the signature of a spiritual guardian, someone who has sworn to protect lives before they were even born. There are reports of people who have these marks since birth and others who see them appear out of nowhere, after rituals, intense dreams, or even moments of great connection with the divine. These spiritual marks are like keys. Keys that open inner portals to spiritual awakening. Do you want to investigate your body more closely? Use a mirror, take it easy and observe every detail of the skin. Note blemishes, bumps, or marks that have specific shapes. Then write down what you see and reflect. What might this symbol be trying to tell me? A good exercise is to compare it with symbols from ancient traditions, Celtic, Egyptian, Aztec. An excellent book for this is The Oracle of Symbols, which can help you decipher these little cosmic riddles. Not infrequently, these marks intensify or change color during periods of great emotional or spiritual sensitivity. This can be a direct sign of the spiritual body in activity, showing that your spiritual origin is active and that perhaps a new cycle is beginning. It's as if the body says, "You're ready." Often, people who discover these marks also report spiritual symptoms, such as feeling hot at certain points or even recurring dreams about ancient temples. And soon after noticing these signs, some people begin to experience a strange sensation, as if the body they live in is not exactly theirs. As if they were out of place, a little off axis, trying to adapt to a reality they don't recognize. And that's where the journey of the souls that carry a body but belong to the stars begins. You know that weird feeling of not fitting in? To look in the mirror and think, this body is not really mine. Many people live with this silent disconnection, and the most curious thing is that it has no medical explanation. In the spirit world, this is known as the experience of wandering souls, consciousnesses that belong to higher dimensions, but who, for some reason, have chosen to incarnate here. These souls bring a very ancient spiritual origin, often linked to more subtle planes, where the density of matter does not weigh as much as here. This discomfort can appear in childhood. Children who feel weird, who avoid mirrors, who have crying fits for no reason or a constant desire to return home, even without knowing where that place is, are usually old souls with spiritual bodies still adapting to the physical. It's like wearing clothes that are too tight. The result? Anxiety with no apparent cause, a feeling of displacement, and even certain spiritual symptoms such as dizziness, frequent yawning, or sudden chills in specific environments. If you identify with this, here's some practical advice. Practice energetic grounding. Walk barefoot, hug a tree, or simply sit and breathe deeply, visualizing roots sticking out of your feet. It may seem too simple, but these practices help to anchor the spiritual body into the physical. I also recommend the book The 9 Dimensions, by Barbara Hand Clow, which delves into this idea of multidimensional spiritual origin and shows how to deal with bodily discomfort during spiritual awakening. Many of these out-of-place souls are also those who carry signals from the universe in the form of sharp intuitions, premonitions, or an unusual energetic sensitivity. They feel the pain of others, they perceive lies before they are told, and they live with the feeling that they have a mission here, they just don't know exactly which one. And the body, as the channel of this soul, responds with resistance, fatigue, or even rejection, as if trying to remember, you are not from here, but you need to be here. And the most fascinating? These displacement sensations often precede subtle physical changes. Yes, the body begins to change after certain dreams, spiritual encounters, or profound mystical experiences. as if you were trying to adjust to the true essence of the soul. And that's exactly where many realize something new came to the skin. A brand, a symbol. And the transformation continues. Have you ever had a dream so intense that you woke up feeling like someone else? Or did you go through a deep spiritual experience and, days later, noticed something different in the body, a spot, a slight change in the face, or even a change in the look? That's not in your head. These physical changes are spiritual signals in the body, silent revelations that something has been activated or healed on subtle planes. The spiritual body, when receiving new information or performing healings during dimensional experiences, can directly influence matter. People who go through astral projections, deep meditations, or encounters with beings of light report spiritual symptoms such as changes in the voice, different brightness on the skin, or even weight loss with no apparent cause. There are those who wake up with lighter eyes, a different posture, or a new scar. In ancient traditions, this was seen as confirmation that the soul had passed through a portal. These symptoms do not arise by chance, they are spiritual marks left as physical proof of the evolution of the soul. Want a practical example? There are cases of people who, after rituals with power plants such as ayahuasca, report changes in their gaze, an intense glow, a depth that did not exist before. Others say that, after dreaming of spirit guides, they began to feel warmer in their hands, perceive mystical symbols in the body, or develop gifts that were previously dormant. If you've had a strong experience recently, observe your body in the following days. He may be showing signs that you're special, in a way that few notice. An interesting practice is to keep a transformation diary. In it, record not only your dreams and spiritual experiences, but also any perceived physical changes. It could be something small, like a new blemish or a scar that doesn't seem to originate. Over time, you'll notice patterns, and those clues will lead you to a deeper understanding of your soul purpose. It's the spiritual body saying, the journey is just beginning. And just when you think you've got the message, something new starts to happen. A persistent feeling of cold in one arm, or heat in the legs, for no apparent medical reason. As if your body is responding to invisible commands. And that's when the sacred fire awakens, with heat that doesn't come from the sun and cold that doesn't come from the wind. Imagine being in a neutral environment, without air conditioning, without wind, and still feeling intense heat in the center of your chest. Or an inexplicable cold rising up his back like a shiver that does not go away. These sensations, which seem harmless, are often manifestations of the spiritual body in full activity. Constant heat and cold in specific areas of the body are not just physiological issues, they are spiritual symptoms that indicate energetic interactions, the presence of guides, or activations of dormant ancestral gifts. Warmth often emerges as a sign of healing, expansion, or spiritual awakening. It is common in the hands of those who have healing energy, or in the solar plexus when an inner truth is about to emerge. The cold, on the other hand, can be linked to the presence of spiritual beings, such as mentors, or to energetic cleansing in charged regions. In some mystical traditions, the cold in the neck, for example, indicates the passage of a protective spirit. These energetic spiritual marks are whispers of the unseen, and those who pay attention, learn to decipher them. If you feel this type of manifestation frequently, a practical tip is to write down the times and places in the body where they occur. Then, associate it with what you were thinking, feeling, or doing at the time. It may be that you are receiving signals from the universe or trying to be led by a spiritual lineage that wants contact. To deepen this study, books such as Spiritual Energy and the Physical Body, by Barbara Brennan, are excellent companions. They help to understand how the spiritual body influences matter and how to interpret it. And yes, sometimes heat comes along with tingling, or cold appears accompanied by a feeling of lightness. It is the body reacting to internal activations. Some people report feeling these sensations after listening to certain songs, visiting old places, or even talking to certain people, all of which can be triggers for the spiritual memory to manifest in the physical. Spiritual awakening, at this point, ceases to be an abstract concept and becomes a sensory experience. The body feels what the soul already knows. And when these sensations become constant, almost cyclical, it is a sign that something greater is unfolding. Something that may have started with a birthmark, a symbol on the skin, or a mysterious dream, but now shows itself in the whole body, in heat, cold, goosebumps, and answers that come without words. And that's when the real mystery begins to reveal itself. And now tell me, after all this, do you still think that your body is just flesh and blood? Or have you begun to notice the spiritual signs he's been trying to show you for so long? If any of these marks, sensations, or changes resonated with you, it may be time to stop ignoring the call. The universe whispers before it screams, and if you've made it this far, it's no longer by chance. So what are you going to do with that knowledge? Will you let this information pass as if it were nothing, or will you begin to investigate, connect, and honor your spiritual origin? Because, look, those who ignore the signals of the spiritual body end up repeating endless cycles. But those who listen, awaken. And waking up is no longer a luxury, it's an urgency. Tell me in the comments, which of these signs have you noticed in yourself? Which one made you most impacted? I want to know your story, because this channel is a space for awakened souls like you. And if you want to continue this journey of deep self-knowledge, subscribe here to the channel now and activate notifications. Because in the next videos, we'll go even deeper. What's up? Will you just watch or will you change your life?